Hey everybody, it's Jonathan here from Gravitee. I want to talk to you about a new feature introduced with Gravitee 4.7 for the Gravitee Kubernetes operator. And that is what we call shared policy groups and support for shared policy groups inside the Kubernetes operator. So just to give you an idea of what I want to talk about here, I want to talk about how you can basically now, using shared policy groups, you can create groups of policies independently of APIs, and then you can reference them from your API definitions. So this means that I can define a set of policies once, like for example, a rate limit or multiple policies bundled together, and I can reference them from different APIs. That way the set of policies here has its own life cycle, so I can modify them, deploy them, update them as I please without having to touch the APIs that are referencing that shared policy group. So this gives you a number of benefits. First of all, it avoids repetition, so you can write policies once and apply them many times. It also means that basically you'll be able to manage the life cycle of these policies separately to the APIs. So if you want to update a common policy, you can do that. And if you consider, the idea of a platform team that's trying to enforce central controls over the API management platform while enabling developers to create APIs more freely, well, here you can totally imagine that a platform team would own some of these common policies, while developers can now create APIs more freely, which will inherit from these common policies. So to give you a bit more concrete detail, let's jump into an example here. So I have my VS Code open here, and I have a shared policy group created here. So as you can see, I've got a simple definition here of a shared policy group, which is a new CRD supported by our Kubernetes operator called shared policy group. You can see that I'm referencing a control plane from this policy group where it should be created. I'm telling the operator that this should apply to proxy APIs, that it should apply on the request phase. And then I'm saying what are the steps, what are the policies to apply in this group. I've defined a rate limit, and you can see that I've set the limit here to 3 requests every 20 seconds. So one thing I can do here, actually, I could change this limit. Let's set it to 100 initially. Okay, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to head over to my terminal, and I'm going to apply with a shortcut kubectl apply the shared policy group. Okay, great. So now I've created that shared policy group. I can go into APIM, and I can go to settings and look at my shared policy groups, and I can see here this new shared policy group that I just created. So I can look at it. You can see my rate limit is here. I can look into the details of my rate limit, and you can see I've got my 100 requests every 20 seconds that is set here. This shared policy group is read-only in the UI because it's managed by the operator as code. So I have no APIs yet in this environment, so let's go ahead and create some APIs that are referencing this shared policy group. So as you can see here, I've got a first API called orders, the orders API. And if you look at the flow here, there's a common flow called default. And you can see that in the request phase, I'm referencing a shared policy group. So I'm referencing here by name. So this is the name of the object in Kubernetes. So the operator will know that this API is linked to this shared policy group, and I've enabled that shared policy. So this API exposes an endpoint on orders, and it's backed by a dummy echo service. And I have another API here called products, which is doing basically the same thing, products API. It's also referencing that same shared policy group, and it's also hitting an echo service on the back end. So 2 fairly simple APIs. I'm going to create them both. So I'm going to do kubectl apply products API and kubectl apply the orders API. Cool. So if I head back into APIM now, I can see my 2 APIs created here. If I open, for example, the orders API and I go to the policies, you'll see here that I have a reference to that shared policy group. So the policies are not implemented in the API itself. They're implemented outside and being reused in an efficient way. So now if I go to another terminal here and let's do some curl requests on this orders API, you'll see that I can do quite a lot of requests without any restriction. Okay, so that's working fine. I'm getting this echo response back. I can go to the products API that I just created, and same thing, I'm able to make requests at will. And that's all because obviously the rate limit that we set in that shared policy group was quite high, enabling basically massive amounts of consumption. So if I change this limit to 3 requests every 20 seconds, and I save this shared policy group, all I need to do now is apply this change to the shared policy group. Okay, so the shared policy group is now configured. If I head back to APIM, you'll see, if I go back to my shared policy groups and have a look at this one, you'll see that the limit has now been set back down to 3 instead of 100. And now if I make requests to those APIs again, 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one hits the rate limit, okay? And now if I head over to the products, to the orders API and do the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I hit a rate limit on the fourth request, okay? So basically, as I mentioned, this is a very powerful tool for anyone doing GitOps, API ops. You're able to manage the lifecycle of common policies in a centralized way and apply them to 1, 2, tens, hundreds of APIs, basically. So it really gives you orders of magnitude more efficiency and control as a central platform team. So I hope you enjoy that, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.